What up, happy Tuesday. We are going to be doing some Dynasty trades here. And a couple of these are going to be, I'm not going to say very controversial, but I even heard one on the Fantasy Footballers are starting a Dynasty thing. And I really think they are one of the best redraft shows. But man, Dynasty, I'm so confused. Maybe you guys can help lead me into like why in the world I feel like they're such beginners when it comes to Dynasty that I'll get into one of the trades that they were discussing and I almost just wanted to like blow my head off. It was bad. But anyways, we're going to start off with the first trade. It is the man DeAndre Swift. I know DeAndre Swift is one of the toughest players to project. Yes, he has David Montgomery in his basically backfield now, but we even talked about Khalil Herbert taking a lot of time from David Montgomery. And David Montgomery is an okay, decent running back. He'll have some touchdowns, but DeAndre Swift is a very, very exceptional pass catcher and extremely talented. He just can't stay healthy. And so can he stay healthy? Can he put some games together? The trade is DeAndre Swift for Alvin Kamara and Alexander Mattison. In this regards, for me, Kamara's going to have half a year, 6 games gone, 4 games gone, whatever it might be. He is at the end of his career. Alexander Mattison might have the Minnesota backfield. I'm taking Swift. I'm taking Swift in the talent. I think this is an easy one. But the fantasy footballers were talking about Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, who's currently a Viking, and currently at the end of his career. I mean, we are talking about Leonard Fournette value right now. Because really, Dalvin Cook next year could have the Leonard Fournette value. He may even have that value now if he gets cut. There are certain things he could get traded. He could get traded to a backfield that maybe he's just ends up being kind of this veteran, the Latavius Murray, the Mark Ingram when J.K. Dobbins moved in. Like you're talking about a running back that is getting to the end of his career, and DeAndre Swift. They were talking about how they would in situations rather have Dalvin Cook, and I'm like, what? No. No. Like, that is one of the biggest mistakes you could do as an owner. In fact, if you are going to sell DeAndre Swift, I am not selling him for an old running back that is towards the end of his career. I am selling him for a either younger running back. I would rather trade him for a pick at this point. Give me Zach Charbonnet, or give me a running back. I mean, I'm not saying I would ever make this trade, but give me James Cook and something. I mean, I would rather make that type of trade, the brother of Dalvin, versus try to go for a running back that is to the end of his career that will have literally probably almost no value in 12 months, all right? So that's the first one, Swift with Kamara and Madison, or Swift for Dalvin Cook. It's like I am taking Swift over these veteran running backs, these old running backs. There's no chance, there's no guarantee that David Montgomery stays healthy either. So let's get to the next trade. Chris Olave traded for Jerry Jeudy and Miles Sanders. Now, I don't see a huge gap between Jerry Jeudy and Chris Olave, so Miles Sanders covers that gap for me. And Miles Sanders is going to have plenty of run there at Carolina. It may be for just a 2-year stretch, but that 2-year stretch could be super valuable. And so I will take the Jerry Jeudy, Miles Sanders side. There are some rumors that Jerry Jeudy might get traded. Honestly, even if Jerry Jeudy ends up having a somewhat disappointing year, I feel like still that's the one way you lose this trade. I feel like Miles Sanders is fairly safe in Carolina. So Chris Olave, I love Chris Olave, but unfortunately he's in that Terry McLaurin, that DJ Moore realm of like high wide receiver 2. Never going to probably be a wide receiver 1 unless something crazy happens or unless he has some really big weeks, but he's probably just going to be a very consistent wide receiver 2 on a team that is And so that's what you get. And so the next trade is going to be Kenneth Walker, Tyler Algier for 109, late 2024 first, and a third rounder as well. And so to me, Kenneth Walker, we haven't talked much about Kenneth Walker. I don't think I've even told you about like what I feel like Kenneth Walker is. And Kenneth Walker is a top 6 dynasty running back at this point. And he was my 102 in 1 QB last year, right behind Breece Hall. I talked about this in depth that my top 3 were Breece Hall 101, and then it was between Kenneth Walker and Garrett Wilson 102, 103, depending on what you needed in the situation. And so far, it seems like those are the top 3 rookies. Even in Superflex, I think those were because there was no quarterbacks. Even in Superflex, those were the 3. 109, I mean, you're going to get even if this is super flex, even if this is super flex, you're getting Quentin Johnston, you're getting maybe Jordan Addison, and then you're getting a late 2024 first, which that's another, again, potential flyer. We hope that the class is depth, but Kenneth Walker, you're getting a top 6 running back. I want something like Garrett Wilson plus. I mean, that's where you're looking at. I mean, you're looking at Garrett Wilson plus a second or something like that. That's what you're wanting now for Kenneth Walker. You want something, you want a stud in return, or a running back and a first. A good running back and a first. I mean, I don't even think Swift in a first would get it done, but I mean, you want something in return besides the 109 and 2024 late first. Like that just doesn't appeal me as a Kenneth Walker owner, right? And so I easily take it. And then you get Tyler Algier on top, just a flyer that, who knows, maybe he'll end up playing some good time. Javonte versus Derek Carr in Superflex. This is tough because Javante's coming back from that knee injury, and I think he's going to have an up and down 2023 season. And so Derek Carr, I'm not a huge believer in Derek Carr either. I think he's that middle, that quarterback 17. If you're in desperate need, I'll take the quarterback. But in majority of cases, I'm taking Javonte Williams here. I'm going to understand that his value could continue to drop here for the next 6 months, even maybe 7-8 months. But I think once he gets back on the field, which is a big if, but I think he's going to have that resurgence, kind of even like Rashad Penny. You could say Rashad Penny was even a later bloom. But, I mean, once Rashad Penny got on the field and was healthy, you could see the Rashad Penny talent. And Javonte Williams is even, in my opinion, a more talented running back. Even though he was drafted in the second, Penny in the first, I think that Javonte Williams is potentially a more talented running back than Rashad Penny, and we've seen what Penny has done when he's been healthy. So, Lamar, now guess what? We haven't even talked about Lamar. He's requested the trade early March. You got 2024 firsts that you're being offered, and at this point, Lamar is still, I even look at the Deshaun Watson value and what I drafted him in Superflex 2 years ago. It was during, I'm trying to think, I think it was during the massage scandal or whatever. I hated him on my team, but it's one of those that he's a quarterback of Lamar's talent is worth 3 firsts. It is. And it sucks because Lamar may not play this year. We have no idea. I mean, he could go on a team that's absolutely horrible or horrendous and end up being a subpar fantasy quarter, or a subpar passer, I guess you could say. But he still has his legs. And so his legs will continue to make him a QB1 when he's on the field. And so he's just got to get on the field, and that's the biggest key for him. So I'm taking Lamar over the 2024 first. You offer 3. I'm probably taking the 3. I'm probably taking the 3 at this point. It's tough because he's still super young, and when you have a super young quarterback that is, when healthy, into that top 7-8 quarterbacks, like you can't replace those. You just can't. And so you really hope that one of those 3 first ends up being early enough where you can hopefully get a adequate quarterback in return, and those other 2 2024 first, you can get a running back and wide receiver, or you can just hope. You can just hope that one of them gets early enough where you can try to replace some of Lamar's talent. All right, Olave Superflex 108, 202, 203, and although I've kind of poo-pooed on Chris Olave enough in my last, few months of saying, well, he's got a limited upside, him versus Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston again, or even the 202, I mean, you're getting some flyers here. This is the simplest way I can explain this. If you are a team that has depth, Chris Olave, for the 3 picks, I don't need it. If you're a team that has very big depth issues where Chris Olave and there's a drop-off, sure, I'll go after 108, 202, 203 and see if I can try to hit on one that can get 80-90% of Chris Olave's production, see if I can try to hit. And then you have 2 other options to try to get another wide receiver, whether it's a Jalen Hyatt, whether it's Josh Downs or Zay Flowers, or maybe even a running back of the Tyler Algier type production of his rookie season, or even Dameon Pierce like production. Try to get some flyers. So again, if you have depth, this is not a move to make to get 3 picks, but if you are a team that is lacking depth, then I can see how this is an adequate value. You're getting the 108, you're getting 202, you're getting 203. I think it's adequate value here. Last one, Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, 110, and Sky Moore. I like J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to have a really good 2023 bounce back year. It depends on if Lamar's coming back or not. 110 in this class is And Sky Moore is just a throw-in at this point. I mean, he has a potential. I mean, there's no juju. I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor. I need, if this is J.K. Dobbins in 104-ish, I'm probably going to be more into debating 103, 104. But again, 110 and Sky Moore. Sky Moore is just not enough for me to move the needle. And 110, again, you're having, and this doesn't have context of Superflex or 1QB, but even if it's Superflex, you're looking at probably the tier after Quentin Johnston, Zach Charbonnet, Jordan Addison. So you're really struggling. You're going to be in another tier break where you're probably going to have another Sky Moore, Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, all the Moores. I don't think there's any Moores in this class. You're going to have that type of tier wide receiver where they're going to be a little bit harder to hit on, and 110 is definitely much more of a risk. Now, if you said you move that again up into that mid to early round one, I'd at least have a conversation, but still would probably go Jonathan Taylor. Now, if you're getting into that like 103, 104 range, I'm like, especially if it's 103, then I can say J.K. Dobbins, Gibbs. J.K. Dobbins, I don't even need Sky Moore. J.K. Dobbins, JSM. Like, that is the trade that I want to make if I'm trading away Jonathan Taylor. I still trust him and have full belief in him. All right, this is Marcus Dynasty Dads. I hope you liked the trade episode. We'll see you again soon.